Hello, my name is Catherine Koch, and today we are going to be talking a little bit about special education laws, their history, and what we can do as special education teachers to pursue our practice and keep up with current legal trends in special educations. So, starting out with the history of special education, in the 1950s and the 1960s, the federal government began to enact different practices to protect students with disabilities and their families. For example, in 1959, the training of professional personnel was passed to help leaders such as administration. Then, in 1970, the IDEA Act was passed. Fun fact, when it was first passed, the law was actually called Education for All Handicapped Children and was later named the IDEA Act. The IDEA Act stands for Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Throughout the years, there have been several laws passed to protect the rights of both students with disabilities as well as their families and guardians. For example, in 2004, the No Child Left Behind Act was passed. This called for the reauthorization for early intervention services for students that have not been identified as a student with a disability. And in addition, it raised standards for instructors who teach special education classes. So what that means is if a student has not been identified as a student with disability, we are looking for those early indicators and applying earlier interventions. If we circle back to the rights of parents and families, there has also been several court cases that have protected the students and parents throughout public and private schools. For example, Brown versus the Board of Education was a U.S. Supreme Court case in which it was founded that African American children were not getting equal education, while they said that it was separate but equal. Finally, in 2000, there was the TR versus Kingwood Township. This court case clarified that the least restrictive environment is able to educate students with disabilities in the same classroom and in the same schools as to those children without disabilities. Essentially, students with disabilities and students without disabilities are integrated and learning in the same classrooms together, which in turn leads to the least restrictive environment. In my future professional practice, there are several ways that I can uphold these laws and make sure I stay up to date on current legal trends on special education. There are several different resources I can use as well. The first one being my administration, my principal, my assistant principal. In addition, I can also use the school district. We have district visits, district walkthroughs, state walkthroughs, and I can always ask those questions if they may come up. The final resource I may be able to use is the Florida Department of Education website. There are several different links to resources on this website, and that is all for today, and thank you so much.